Once upon a time, I got a game, and that game was called Aion, or as I like to call it, Aion. That game was boring. I liked the pretty colors when I first stepped into the game, but then after about 20 minutes of actually playing the game, I realized this game seems a little, where can I put my finger on it, unfinished. I don't know, I really just didn't like it because the gameplay seemed flawed. Like, my character's animations weren't fluid, they were plasticky, and the camera wasn't smooth. I couldn't left click to move my screen around, and whenever I would use abilities, I played, the generic warrior. I forget the character. I'm guessing it was just warrior. I played the tank warrior. There was gladiator and I don't know. I played the other one that wasn't a gladiator. Oh, it was a Templar. That was it. I played the Templar, and things I didn't like about the game were that there were a billion gold spammers. Every 10 seconds in any chat there would be buy gold from buyAionGold.com, and I'm like, and then when I'm actually inside of the game, once I leveled past 10, I was like, hey, there's an auction house in this game in a major city. I wonder if there are more major cities. And no, there's only one major city per faction. I was the Pretty Angel faction because my friends wanted to play the Pretty Angels. And the auction house, I'm like, hey, I want to buy a new sword. I look on the AH, and I can buy a new sword that is blue for 1 million kana. I'm like, why would a blue sword that can easily be replaced by a green sword a couple levels above it be 1 million kana? I don't get it. Apparently the gold farmers inflated the market because what people would do is they would just buy gold and then, or buy kana, and then just buy anything off the AH and then set the prices to whatever they wanted. That was one of the reasons why Aion was such a bad game for me. And at the time, I didn't want to believe Aion was a bad game. I'm like, hey, no, this game's good. I know it'll be good because NCSoft made, successful MMOs like Guild Wars, and I don't know. I've never played Guild Wars, so I wouldn't really know that. I don't know how good Guild Wars is. So after level 10, I'm like, okay, what should I do next? And apparently, I just do what I did from level. I apologize. From level 1 to 10, again, grind monsters, and then do some quests, grind some more monsters, do some quests, and it's boring as hell. I'm like, huh, will I ever get mounts in this game? And no, there are no mounts in that game. There may be mounts in the future, but not at the moment. And I'm like, wow, really? You couldn't make a generic horse and let us ride it? It was that hard? And so I continued leveling on, and I eventually reached 20. And I'm like, nothing special at 20. And then I reached 25, and I got my Ascension quest, which was cutscene cinematic, pretty, ooh, pretty. And then back to boring as shit, grinding. But, sorry, I'm thinking as I'm talking. But, once I reached level 25, I get the chance to go to the Abyss, which is the PvP zone, or the major PvP zone, which I later learned isn't really much of a major PvP zone. It's more of the high levels, just run around in gigantic groups and rape everybody, kind of PvP zone. It's not I walk around, I fight somebody my level, and then I attack them, and then I have a fair 1v1. It's more like you get overwhelmed by millions of people and die, which I found saddening, even though I'm not much of a PvPer because I don't like PvP. I kind of find it boring. It's kind of like grinding monsters, except the monsters are actually people. And I continue on leveling up, and then I realize at level 25, I'm like, oh, I can do an instance. So I do an instance, and it has a 1-day reset timer. I can't redo the instance more than once a day? Really? Ugh. The game just pisses me off. So I continue on, and I'm like, I have my pretty little wings. I fly around. And then I reach 30, and then I can equip my new collector's edition wings, and I can go a little bit faster. Woohoo. I don't know, I would find that game a little more fun if I could fly everywhere. A lot of the time I'm just like, oh, you get like one city, like small zone where you can fly in, and then the rest of it's walking. In which case I would think it would be okay if they put in mounts, because mounts are fun. You go faster, you look at your pretty little horse, or whatever they would give you, and then you're happy. But no, you have to walk, and walking's slow and boring, and nobody wants to do it. Or if you completely discovered the zone, you can use flight paths, which are apparently interconnected. But, won't get you to quest zones in the middle of the flight paths. I always thought it'd be kind of cool if, like, while you're on a flight path, if you can just take the flight path off and fall, but you could just get to an area that won't kill you from the fall damage. Yeah. Well, another big beef with that game is when you swim, you don't swim. You just sink to the bottom as if you were made of concrete. They really couldn't just put in a swim animation? Seriously? You sink to the bottom as if you were concrete and it says you are in danger zone. Well, anyway, I continued on leveling until I reached level 35 or something, and then I gave up on it. It was just the boring, repetitive grinding, doing the same quests in the same areas, just different surroundings. And then, once you reach the max level, you can do dungeons, even though I heard that there is no endgame to that game. There's just, you do PvP, which is boring, or you do a dungeon that won't give you good gear like PvP does, so there's no point. I don't know, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't force myself to love this game. It was like trying to force myself to love something that nobody likes and is boring. So in conclusion, if you play this game, prepare to be bored, or to grind a lot, because that's pretty much all you're going to be doing the whole time, is grinding, or doing a quest, then being out of quests, and then grinding some more, and enjoying the gold farmers. Like, no matter how hard I tried, again, I couldn't force myself to love this game. And I like most games, because, even RuneScape was better than this game, because even though RuneScape was just a basic game. So, again, in conclusion, don't buy this game. Or if you do buy this game when it's good, have fun, because it should be a good game. Just, I'm not going to play it. Bye.